Hey guys, this is Trey with Rougarou Lacrosse. Today I wanted to bring you a Lacrosse PSA about goalies. More importantly, what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say to your goalie. As a fellow cage dweller myself, these are all things that either I've experienced and as playing or as a coach. And these are things that definitely aggravate me, and I know they aggravate every goalie on planet Earth, basically. So let's first off just go over goalie in general. So as a goalie, you're the last line of defense. You got to stop the ball from making it in the net. It's easily the hardest position in all of sports. Definitely the hardest position in team sports. More so field goalie than indoor goalie. Not to say that indoor goalie is not hard, but field goalies is what we're going to talk about because that's what I play more of. Basically, what you have to remember is your goalie's standing there and they've been stuck in a no-win situation, all right? So basically, you volunteered to stand in a 6x6 net where they give you this head, which, while bigger than a field regular head, it's still about a foot by a foot. Not quite as big as the cage. All right, cool. So we have that head. Well, what else do we get? Oh, your chest pad. Don't forget your chest pad. Chest pad. It's flimsy. It's not all that thick. A lot of them don't even have hard plating in them. And they hand you that, tell you to stand in the cage, and that's about it. Oh, and you get gloves with crazy thumbs. You don't get anything else. And now you're expected to stand there in front of a extremely hard ball that's flying anywhere from 60 to 100 plus miles an hour, depending upon where you're at and what level you're playing at. And you got to stop that ball. It comes from all different angles. Right hand, left hand, overhand, underhand, sidearm, backwards, forwards, behind the back, between the legs, through traffic, off the ground. I mean, any way you could possibly imagine that ball to come at you, it's coming at you. And you have, sometimes fractions of a second to respond. And it's insane. It's a tough position. So one of the things you have to remember is that's a hard position. So what I kind of lead into on that is don't ever give your goalie grief for giving up a goal. They're going to give up goals. They don't have a choice. Okay? There's reason why we preach quality opportunities as coaches to offensive players, because quality opportunities are high percentage shots that go in the net. That's the whole point. Don't ever turn around and jump on your goalie for not making a save. Okay? It happens. It's going to happen. Sometimes it's their fault. Sometimes it's not their fault. But you know what? They know they gave up a goal. There's two really big tells that they know they let up a goal. Number one, play stopped, and the official's doing this. And number two, the goalie now has to turn around, grab the ball out of the net, hand it to the ref. Almost like a smack in the face, like, hey, since you let that ball in the net, why don't you pick it up, hand it back to me? Guys, they know, okay? Don't ever jump down a goalie's throat for letting up a shot that goes in cage, okay? A lot of times, you're probably the defender that either got beat, was late on your slide, that allowed the guy to get his hands free to get a quality opportunity to take the shot, and the goalie just didn't cover your mistake at that point in time. So don't jump down a goalie's throat for ever letting a goal in. That's the coach's job, and coaches don't do it, okay? Because we know better. We know that, hey, it happens. We know that there are lots of things that led to that point. It's not just on the goalie. So first off, don't jump down a goalie's throat for letting up a point ever. Not ever, not ever. Either keep your mouth shut or just say, hey, we'll get them next time. Walk away, all right? Number two, remember goalies are people too. We're people too, guys. That ball don't feel good. While I may not complain about it, while I may hold it inside when I get hit or another goalie may get hit, it still doesn't feel good. Your body still gets injured when that ball hits you at 90 miles an hour, all right? It happens. You can't stop that. No matter how much you don't care that you got hit, your body still reacts because you got hit. All right? Remember, we're people too. Sometimes we lose feeling in our arm when we get hit. Sometimes we lose feeling in the leg when we get hit. Sometimes we lose strength in our hand because of where we get hit. Understand that happens. Okay? Let it go. Don't ever say something to a goalie. If a goalie is like trying to shake it off or maybe expresses pain, don't look at him and go, you should be used to it, it's your job. No. That's just not right whatsoever, okay? Totally different if every time someone wound up to shoot through traffic, Everybody goes diving out of the way for their life, like Mighty Ducks when Fulton's smacking that slap shot through, and all those little peewee players are flinging out of the way, and the goalie's standing there like, great, I gotta stop this. Same thing in lacrosse. So many people dive out of the way of shots, and half the time that usually screens a goalie, so that doesn't help us either. But don't say something to a goalie about taking a shot and maybe complaining that it hurts, or showing any sort of physical discomfort after it hits them by saying you should be used to it, it's your job, get over it. That's not gonna fly. And goalies, just slash whoever says that to you. Just slash them. Just slash them. Slash them right in the kneecap. It'll be okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Next, to kind of add on to those getting hit with a ball, don't ever make fun of a goalie for wearing extra pads, guys. That's something that does need to change in lacrosse culture. And I was one of those when I first kind of started in that and started playing lacrosse. Like, yeah, you shouldn't wear shin guards. You shouldn't wear these. Like, you're a goalie. You're supposed to be a man. As I've gotten older, as I've coached, as I've seen more has happened to me, that is not the same mentality I have anymore. My mentality now is if a goalie wants to wear extra pads, let them wear extra pads. It could help their confidence level. All right? Maybe they're wearing that extra pad because they have a bad bruise in practice from some dummy who can't shoot rocketing one into their shin. Well, it hurts, so they're covering it to try to let it heal. Okay? Sometimes they just wear them because they're more confident in it. Okay? If it makes your goalie more confident, any little boost that goalie can have to their confidence, whether it's a pad, a sweatband, whatever it happens to be that they're wearing, just let them do it. All right? They're your teammate. At the end of the day, if your goalie's not confident, they're going to have a bad day, so is the rest of the team. So support your goalie if they decide to wear extra pads. All right? Just let them do it. If it's not affecting what they're doing, it's cool. Keep your mouth shut. Don't ever say anything to a goalie for wearing extra pads. Okay? Lastly, and this one's the big one. This one is the one that will turn me into Hulkmaster Flash right off the bat, and I will immediately explode on someone. I used to hold it in. I don't anymore. I'm older now, so I don't even care. But in a game, in practice, at any point in time, don't ever, 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 ever tell a goalie how to play goalie, okay? Don't ever tell them what they did wrong. Don't ever try to correct what they're doing because you don't know what you're talking about, okay? There are two kinds of people, I guess I should say, that are allowed to tell a goalie how to play goalie or what they did wrong. Number one, first and foremost, is another goalie, a fellow netminder. Okay, somebody who's done it, somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, somebody who can see what's going on and say, okay, yeah, you made a mistake, or it just so happened that it went in, right? Because they know what they're talking about. They've been there, they've seen it, they've stood there, they've done that. They know what they're talking about, all right? So they have permission to say something. The second is going to be that goalie's coach. Because they are the coach, they're allowed to do that. All right? If you do not fall in Category A or Category B, then you need to keep your mouth shut and keep your opinions to yourself because they're wrong. All right? They are 100% wrong. I don't care if you've read about it. I don't care if you watch videos on YouTube. I don't care if you've watched game film. I don't care if your mom was a goalie, your dad was a goalie, your little brother's a goalie, your big brother's a goalie, your big sister's a goalie, your grandfather was a goalie. I really don't care. All right? I don't care if you come from a lineage of goalies and you were just not enough of a man to go play goalie, so you decided to go play tack. That's right, attackman. Ha! So, that's my little jab at attackman. Attackman, you know I love y'all. That's where I get all my assists off of, is attackman. So anyway, guys, just leave your goalie alone, okay? They, most of the time, know what they did wrong, all right? We're very conscientious about what's going on, and we see more than you do because you have your back to the play half the time. All right, we see what's going on. We know what's up. All right, just don't do that though, okay? Because that will infuriate a goalie more so than anything. Because they're standing there going, "Dude, I just watched you get beat, and you're gonna yell at me and tell me what I need to be doing right." That's usually the feeling and sentiment from a goalie when somebody who's not in those categories says something to them. So, all in all, guys, part of this was a little bit of fun, as you could say, by some of my little jokes that were really terrible jokes, let's be honest. But a lot of it is seriousness. Those are all serious problems. Those are all things that guys need to cut out and stop doing. All right? Your goalie is your teammate. Not only are they your teammate, they're one of the most important people on the field. I say they're the most important person on the field at any given moment. But they're competitors, okay? You can't be a goalie and not be an extreme competitor because you have such an incredibly hard job and you literally have to put your body on the line for it. People who aren't competitive just don't do those things. They're also a hell of a teammate most of the time. The reason why they are is they're standing in there letting people rip shots at them to try to win a game, okay? Clearly they fall in those two categories because they're doing those things. Just by doing those things, they fall in those categories. All right, not everybody steps in there and does that. So keep these things in mind as you move forward in your lacrosse career, and I promise they'll serve you well. All right, I really do promise that they serve you well. For you goalies who sat through this video and was like, dude, he made some points. I understand what this guy's coming from. Goalies, I got you back on this. All right, as a fellow goalie, to all the rest of you goalies, I got you on this. If you got some issues, just sit your friends down, sit your teammates down, show them this video, send them this video and say, hey, listen to what this guy's got to say. He knows what's going on. This is how I feel most of the time. Because you know what? You don't need to argue with your teammates. They're your teammates. You got to love your teammates. Let me argue with your teammates, okay? They don't have an argument or a leg to stand on in any of this, as you know. So I got you back, guys, okay? Till next time, this is Trey with Rougarou Lacrosse. Like I said, bringing you a PSA. Let's keep laxing.